Top of the morning, lads. My name is Steven, accompanied by Queen Taylor, and today we're going to be looking at Philomena Cunk moments. Best Philomena Cunk moments. I don't know how to say this.
What is happening right now?
Philomena Cunk.
Philomena.
Whoa. Is that really what it says?
Yeah.
Philomena.
Philoma? Hey, you want a Philomena Cunk?
So you guys, this actually came recently in a recommendation when we were doing a lot of Mickey Flanagan. Bill Connolly was also, gosh, my
words today.
Words. This is American English, mind you. Okay, so it's a little testy.
It's a test.
It's got a little razzle dazzle.
It's got a little sparkle. Okay. But yeah, this came as a recommendation, so here we are. So this is the best
Philomena
Cunk moments. So yeah, guys, never heard of her. Let's hop on over the video and let's listen.
That intro was riveting.
That was one of the best intros I've ever done in my life. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I'm Ian Borden. I'm a professor of architecture at University College London.
What is a building?
A building is anything that anyone has built.
So my shoes are a building. How many three wise men were there?
Who knows?
Oh. And I don't understand bread sauce.
It's a great way of making a really savoury sauce.
Bread and sauce are two completely different things, aren't they?
Well, they are, but you can grind the bread down and then cook it in milk to make a really good sauce.
It just looks like sort of jizz.
What?
When Henry died, Edward became king.
He didn't even know what to say there.
See how defeated he was. Hold on.
He's like,
look at that face.
that is the look of defeat.
So she's a news anchor? Is that her thing?
I guess, yeah. It seems like it. I didn't know what this was. I had no clue what to expect.
None.
Fun.
This is fun. If she's like a parody, like funny comedian news anchor, I hope for like a legit news station, this is gold.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm 30 seconds in and loving it already.
When Henry died, Edward became king, aged just 9 years old. Edward died aged 15, the youngest anyone had ever died of old age. When you teach a kid Shakespeare, do their heads grow physically bigger?
No.
When a feminist looks in the mirror, do they see...
Do you think she was actually like that was real, that she actually got really upset like that there?
Or
do you think that was part of it?
They were talking about nuclear warheads. And
yeah.
She just, maybe? No, she's an actress, right? No.
I don't know.
An equal woman or a better woman?
They quite often, like all of us, look for what they want to see and they look for what they hope to see.
You see yourself back to front, don't you, in a mirror? But not upside down. Why is that?
Well, hopefully, because that's the way that mirrors are designed.
What power's a mirror? Sorry, you're not the mirrors expert, are you? And to add insult to injury, that money will most likely have a picture of a man on it, because most banknotes don't have women on them, apart from the Queen, who's on all of them. Maybe one day, human beings won't need buildings anymore. Although, for that to happen, we'd probably need to evolve skins made of bricks. And that might take at least another 30 years. Macbeth is startled at dinner by the unexpected appearance of Banquo's ghost, played here for some reason by the letter H.
Which of you have done this?
But what was so great about Henry?
That was goofy.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Banquo's ghost, played here for some reason by the letter H.
Which of you have done this?
But what was so great about Henry VIII? Why is he the king we all still remember, unlike, say, Richard V? Well, for one thing, he was fat, so he takes up more room in the memory.
The Andromeda Galaxy is going to hit us.
The Andromeda Galaxy? A whole galaxy is going to hit us?
Yeah. On about the same time scale, actually.
So could we fall down a black hole?
Yeah, you could fall into one.
Is that the same? Because I heard that you could be, if, you know, this is one way that the world could end, is that we're all just sucked off through a hole. I mean, that must be terrible. Can you imagine what it would feel like to be sucked off through a hole?
Yeah.
Oh no. He's like,
Back in Queen Victorian times, women weren't allowed to vote, even though we had a female king. So some women formed a gang called the Suffragettes. 1 in 20 people has been a victim of crime, which means that 19 out of 20 people are criminals. No wonder we need police. Over the centuries, many things have been used as money, including amber, wheat, eggs, travellers' checks, feathers, book vouchers, lobsters, beads, gold, leather, nectar points, rice, peas, mugs and money. It was only the last of these that caught on. It's almost unbelievable that before Charles Darwin invented evolution in 1859, no one had ever evolved. Without him, none of us would be here today, except in the form of fossils or gibbons. This is the National Theatre. It's designed to look so horrible that people are glad to be inside watching boring plays. Today, Britain stands at a fork in its crossroads, and its people are asking questions. Now we've got our country back. What actually is it? Who are we and why? You know when you read a word in a book and you sort of hear that word in your head, how do they get the sounds into the ink to make it play in your head?
Well,
she wrote, "The world to an end will come in 1881. A claim which has recently been debunked by experts through a careful process of looking around and seeing the world still here." Today, some people choose to turn the outside.
You know what that reminds me of? The Y2K. You remember, like, in the year 2000, everything was going to turn off and
all
stuff?
like computers were gonna die and the world was gonna end. Yeah.
All that over a Mayan calendar that ended or something like that.
Yeah.
And computers.
Can you imagine being any of these people that she's interviewing, just having to try, you know, she asks the question like, how do you get the sound so it comes out and plays in the ink? I would be like, how do I answer? Do you just joke back to her, or do some of them take her seriously and they like actually scientifically try to explain things?
Well, we wouldn't have the best moments if they did.
I mean, we could, because it's not their answers. It's,
I think their reaction to her questions are what makes it golden.
yeah,
So if they all caught on, it would be a little misleading, eh?
maybe.
It would be a little comedy routine.
Okay.
I wouldn't like it.
of their homes into a giant advent crown. A jolly house covered in electric lights may be expensive and use a lot of power, but it's the perfect way to cheer up a world worried about climate change and dwindling resources. Queen Elizabeth I got a crown screwed on here in Westminster Abbey. It was in this ship Drake became the first person to circumcise the globe, which is probably why this sort of ship is called a clipper. People genuinely believed witches were amongst them, their fear fueled by leaked photos like this. Did an explorer ever try to sail into the sky? You know, find a bit of sea that's sort of going up and...
No.
We're often told to feel sorry for those who are alone at Christmas, but these days that's all of us, and it's brilliant. Why did Nelson always have one hand up his jumper?
Was it a COVID thing?
What was he doing up there?
He'd lost most of his right arm, so...
The pagans celebrated the solstice by cutting down...
Can you play that one again? I didn't hear her question.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All of us, and it's brilliant. Why did Nelson always have one hand up his jumper? What was he doing up there?
He'd lost most of his right arm, so...
The pagans celebrated the solstice by cutting down holly and ivy and dragging it into their homes, along with a giant Yule log which they'd set fire to. It sounds rubbish, but with no app store to speak of, killing trees and plants was as good as entertainment got, even at Christmas. Despite being the stuff of nightmares, Santa is the world's most popular home intruder. But at Christmas 1914, there was a brief ceasefire. The the fighting stopped. Soldiers got out of their holes and joined together in a place called No Man's Land, showing that even at moments of peace, men will still divide into two sides and try to beat one another.
Oh, she's hysterical.
She is actually really funny.
I hate how fast that went because I could have just listened to this for ever and ever. And that 7 minutes went really fast.
That's how you know it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so that was the best of Philomena Cunk. Super funny. I love the concept. Love the whole anchor, dumb questions. I love the interaction with all that.
And her straight face during all of it is just hysterical. It makes it so much funnier that she's not just, I would be dying laughing.
I wouldn't be able to control it.
Couldn't do it.
And I wouldn't know if it was serious. I was like, I think a lot of the people in here were like, is this really happening?
Yeah, that's what I meant by their reaction and wondering, how if they answer her, like taking her seriously, or if they know that she's just kind of joshing around and they're like, oh, it's just silly Philomena.
Silly Philomena.
Because I feel like some of them are like, is this a serious question? How do I answer this?
She was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely hysterical.
Thank you so much for the recommendation. It was actually a really great time. Oh, my cat's on the table.
Cooper.
Here's Cooper. It's actually a lovely boy. But all right, we got to feed this cat. And thank you guys. Don't put your ass in my face.
And on that note,
guys, leave down in the comments what you thought. And thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.